Okay, so I have a package coming from Sigma Beauty today. I'm so excited. They emailed me. She's like, hi, I found your Instagram and your YouTube and I want to send you some stuff. And I flip shit. Oh man, like Sigma Beauty is like the makeup brush brand of life. And it is going to be my favorite eye brushes. All these brushes are from Sigma, and no, this video is not sponsored. I just genuinely believe that Sigma has the best brushes in the makeup world right now. I am officially announcing my collaboration with Sigma Beauty. I use Sigma brushes in every single one of my eye makeup tutorials. They are the best brushes in my opinion. I have been raving about Sigma Beauty brushes ever since I started posting my makeup tutorials here on YouTube 9 years ago in 2016, almost a full decade at this point, which is absolutely crazy. So when Sigma approached me and asked if I wanted to create my own custom brush set, I said yes please. So introducing the new Sigma and ANGELABRIGHT eye brush set. It's always so crazy the first moment I can like show you something on camera, because like I've been seeing these for 2 years now, but like holding it up, it's like, it is here. She's here. I really wanted to create the most perfect and complete eye brush set. I have put so much thought into every detail of this set, and I'm so excited to finally share it with you guys. Whether you're brand new to eyeshadow or you've been doing your makeup for years, this set really has everything you need to get a complete eye look. So we have 6 brushes total, and every brush does have a specific purpose, but every brush is also versatile as well, so it can do more than one thing. But I just wanted to dive into this set and just tell you all the details, so let's get started. I want to start by going through each brush one by one, kind of telling you how I use it, and of course I'm going to demonstrate it because I did use them to create this eye look today. And for my palette today, I did use my Sigma and ANGELABRIGHT palette. Like, of course I'm going to use my eyeshadow palette with my brush set. Duh. So the first brush is AB1, and this is the base brush. I really wanted to create kind of a fluffy base brush that's really great for applying any kind of cream products around your eye area. So this brush is super soft. It's also a little bit more on the denser side, so it's really great for cream products. So I use this brush to tap out my eyeshadow primer on my eyelid. I wanted a brush that's a little bit larger, so it's really going to cover a lot of surface area on your lid. But I also love this brush for blending out my under eye concealer. Again, it just kind of fits perfectly in this area under my eye. I also use it to blend out my spot concealer all the time. But this is going to be like the first brush you start with for your eyeshadow look to really prime your eyes and get it ready for eyeshadow. Next brush is AB2, and this is the fluffy blending brush. Of course I had to put a fluffy blending brush in my brush set. I start off every single one of my makeup looks with like a transition shade in my crease, and I'm always using a fluffy blending brush, so I wanted to create like the perfect one. And for me, this brush really is the perfect size for blending out shadow throughout your entire crease, kind of doing those back and forth motions, also just blending in larger areas of your eye. We'll talk a little bit more about the fibers in a bit, but this really is the softest, like fluffy blending brush I have ever used. Next brush is AB3, and this is the crease brush. So this brush is really inspired by the Sigma E25, which is the one brush that I have been raving about for so many years. I have made a few videos at this point where I've said like, if I could only recommend one eyeshadow brush, it would be the Sigma E25. So I kind of wanted to make just my own version of that brush. And what I love about the shape of this brush is that there are so many different things you can do with it. You can use the tip of this brush to be a little bit more precise with your shadow in the crease if you're wanting to like deepen things up. If you have larger eyes or a little bit more lid space, you can also use this on the outer corner, inner corner. I also use this to blend along the lower lash line. You can even use the flat side of this brush to softly dust shadow across your eyelid. I've just really always loved the shape of this type of brush, so I had to include it in my brush set. So these first 3 brushes are kind of like your typical sized eyeshadow brushes, but I really wanted to include some more smaller kind of detail brushes as well. Again, I'm trying to make a complete eye brush set here. So moving on to AB4, this is the shader brush. I also use this brush for so many different steps in my eye look. Like, this one is also very versatile. I think a lot of you that have smaller eyes and hooded eyes are gonna love this brush because this is kind of more of the size that I like to add some shadow to the outer corner and inner corner of my eye. So this brush is really great for just packing shadow all over the lid. That's what I used for my shimmer shade today on the center of my eye. I also use the tip of this brush to kind of stamp some shadow along my lower lash line. I've even used this brush to apply my NARS Soft Matte Concealer because it is a nice smaller size if you want like a little more of a pinpoint concealer kind of look. Like, you really can do so much with the shader brush. The next brush is AB5, and this is the small blending brush. So I really wanted
wanted this brush to be kind of like the smaller sister of the AB2. So we have our fluffy blending brush that's larger, covers more surface area, and then our small blending brush. And I do think it's really important to have these two different sizes of blending brushes in a brush set. So hence the name small blending. This one is perfect for blending in smaller areas of your eye. I mostly use this to blend along my lower lash line. It fits perfectly under here. But again, because this brush is so small, you can also use it on the outer corner, inner corner, or if you wanted to be super precise in your crease, maybe like really deepen it up, it would fit perfectly in that area. Again, I think this is another brush that my small eyes and hooded eyes people are gonna love. The last brush is AB6, and this is the small detail brush. Now this brush is super special to me because this is actually a brush that Sigma discontinued years ago, and it used to be a lip brush. So when they did carry this brush, it was called the L04 lip brush, and I would always use this brush to do a tiny detail work on the eye, specifically the inner corner, lash line, brow bone. Like, I love the tiny size of this, so when they discontinued it, I was so sad. Like, I didn't have my tiny detail brush. And so when we were working on this brush set, I asked them, I was like, can I bring back the L04 and make it a small detail brush? And they were like, yeah. So now I'm just so happy to have this tiny detail brush back in my life. Again, this is so tiny. It is perfect for the inner corner, the brow bone, smudging out shadow along the lower lash line. I'll also use this to add some shadow to my top lash line. Kind of gives you like a softer, smudgier look compared to like your typical liner brush. I also use this tiny brush to apply like my nose highlighter right here, right on the bridge. Or if you want to go back to using this as a lip brush, you totally can. I personally like a really soft lip line, so I've taken this brush and even like smudged out my lip liner a little bit. Just like any small detail things you want to do, this is perfect for that. Just to show you a quick little size comparison, this is the Sigma E30 pencil brush that, again, I've been using for years and years. And then here's the AB6 next to it, so you can just see how small and detailed this brush is. It's so cute and little. I love it. So those are the 6 brushes in my brush set. Now I want to talk about some more specifics of this set and just kind of like my thought process of creating this in general. So first of all, when I knew that I was going to make an eye brush set, I really wanted 6 brushes. I really think that 6 is just the perfect amount of brushes to have a complete eye set, and 6 is also my favorite number, so it just really made perfect sense to me. And then while I was trying to think about like, what do I want these brushes to look like, I really wanted this kind of colorful look because I kind of wanted it to reflect my palette a bit. Like when you see my palette, when the light hits it, you know, you see all these fun different colors, so I wanted the fun colors in the brushes as well. I also wanted these brushes to be colorful because I wanted them to really stand out against the other brushes in my collection and your collection, because obviously I use mostly Sigma brushes in my looks and they all have black handles, which I think looks really nice. But when I'm doing my makeup, I make such a mess on my table. Like there's brushes, there's makeup everywhere. So if I'm doing like my eyeshadow, I set this brush down, grab something else. I'm like, I can't find the brush I was just using because there's so many black handled brushes on my desk. So now when I'm doing my makeup and I have my messy desk in front of me and I'm like, oh, where's my fluffy blending brush? Oh, it's right here because I can find it by the colorful handle. I also really like the look of having this part of the brush, it's called the ferrule, to be the same color as the handle. So just kind of like one cohesive color throughout the whole brush. Just compared to like a typical Sigma brush, again, where the ferrule part is silver, the handle is black. I just wanted it to all just go together. Throughout my years of doing these makeup tutorials here on YouTube, again, I wanted everything to be simple, straightforward, and easy for you guys to follow. So I really wanted that to reflect in my brush set as well. So that's why I kept the brush names very simple and also why they're numbered the way that they are. So when we went over the brush names, you know, we started with AB1 as the base brush and the last brush is AB6, the small detail brush, because I always start my looks out with my first base brush, right? So that's why this brush is AB1, because this is the first brush I'm gonna grab whenever I'm doing my eyeshadow. And then going through the rest of them, that's why the fluffy blending brush is AB2, because this is always the second brush I grab for when I'm doing an eyeshadow look, because I always start out my eyeshadow looks with a transition shade in my crease with this type of brush. And then as I'm doing my makeup look, maybe I want to be a little bit more precise with this crease brush, and I do my lid with my shader brush. I finish off the look with blending in smaller areas like my lower lash line, and then I finish my eyeshadow looks with my small detail brush to do those little details like the little highlights. So that's kind of how and why I named the brushes AB1 through 6. But then again, I also just wanted to keep the names of the brushes super simple. Let's talk about the fibers of these brushes really quick and what makes them unique, because this is a brand new fiber from Sigma that I got to pick out myself. It was really cool because they sent me a bunch of different brushes that had all these different fibers, and I'm trying them out and I'm like, I really like this one specific one because it just felt so soft on the eyes. So this is a brand new fiber from Sigma called Nano Fiber. It is a synthetic fiber. It is high performance, hygienic, cruelty-free, and vegan. And these really are the softest Sigma brushes I have ever used, and I created them. So cool. But another reason why I've been raving raving about Sigma's brushes for so many years at this point is because of the quality of the brushes as well. So in Sigma's brushes, they use this double-threaded ferrule technology that really locks the brush into place. And so what that means is that the brushes do not shed, they do not fray as you're using the brushes, as you're washing the brushes. I have truly never had a Sigma brush like fray on me. I have had some brushes for over 8 years at this point. Their brushes really are so long lasting, and while buying new makeup brushes can seem kind of expensive at first, I really think the tools that you use really matter, like how your makeup is going to turn out. But these brushes are going to last you years and years, I promise. And all of Sigma's brushes are backed by a 2-year warranty. So that is the brush set, and it is just so exciting to finally be able to share this with you guys because I've been using these brushes for over a year at this point, off camera of course. And you already know I'm going to be using these brushes in every single one of my makeup tutorials for the foreseeable future. Forever, probably. So my custom eye brush set is available now on Sigma's website, but I did want to mention they are doing a bundle with my palette, and it's actually such a good value. So if you haven't had the chance to get my eyeshadow palette yet, buying these two together is such a good deal. And I'm going to be posting lots of videos and shorts of how to use these two together. Sigma and I are doing a giveaway in this video where someone's going to receive my brush set and my palette. So if you want to enter this giveaway, just leave a comment down below. Tell me what brush you're most excited about. And if you are the winner, I will directly respond to you in that comment and get your information. Okay, time to get sappy and emotional for 2 seconds here. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here, being a subscriber, and supporting my channel throughout all of these years. 9 years now, which is absolutely wild to me. I'm gonna be posting a little short kind of about like my story with Sigma, but honestly, like when I started using their brushes so many years ago, I never would have expected that I would be creating my own custom brush set with them where I got to have control over everything. It's just crazy to me because for the longest time my dream was creating an eyeshadow palette. Like that was the goal for me, and once I hit this goal, it was kind of like, okay, now what? And then when Sigma asked me to create a brush set, I was like, yes, yes. So I just want to say thank you again for all of the support for my eyeshadow tutorials throughout all of these years, because this truly wouldn't have happened without you guys. And I know that you guys are gonna love these brushes just as much as I do. Please let me know if you decide to pick up my brush set. I would love to know all of your thoughts on this down below, and don't forget to enter the giveaway by just leaving a comment. Tell me your favorite brush. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.